Hi, my name is Majbrit and I'm from Denmark, and I'm working together with Farming for Life in Uganda. I've been in Uganda 2 times and in Zambia 1 time, and I have noticed that in Uganda it was together with this farming project, and I've noticed that you have rabbits in Uganda, and I've noticed there's also some in Zambia, and I am here in Denmark working with rabbits. I have it as a hobby, my rabbits, for eating and for using the all the duns from the rabbits, and that is my goal, and I'm using the fur. When I was in Uganda first time, I noticed that there was some rabbits and they was just running around in a big area, and there was only a few that was surviving after some months. And then I decided that I would go home and try to make some cages that I think that would be very good in warm countries, so that there will be more rabbits that will survive, because the meat from a rabbit is very, very healthy and it's very, very good, and they give a very, very, very good fertilizer to the soil. If you treat your rabbit well, you will in a very, very short time have a lot of meat. I have a female and she got 12 small ones, and 11 of them were surviving. Another female, she gave me 9 and 7 of them were surviving. A third one, she had 10 and 8 of them were surviving. And that means that in 4 months I have a lot of meat. I never keep my rabbits for a long, long time, for a year or something like that, because I try to give them a lot of good food when they're small, and after 4 months, when they start fighting, and then I start to slaughter them. Because if I keep them for a very long time, maybe some of them will get sick, and then I don't have any meat at all. So then I just give them a lot of food the first 4 months, and then I start to slaughter them when I need them. A rabbit can never die of cold, but it can die if it gets too warm and it cannot get away with the heat. And a rabbit sweats through their ears, so it's very important that when you have rabbits that you keep them in the shadow, because if their ears get burned or if there's too much sun on their ears all the time, they cannot get out of the heat inside, and they will get very sick and they will die. A rabbit needs a lot of water, and if you give them the good food and a lot of water, you can have very, very, very healthy rabbits. The way that I give the rabbits food is that I collect things in my garden or in the area, a lot of green grass, and then I take some of the grass and let it dry. And it's very important that it will dry, because if you only give the rabbits wet food, their stomach will be destroyed and they will get they can die. So you also have to collect some of the grass and let it dry. And the way I let it dry is that I have a room here, that's an extra cage I use, and in the room I put all the grass in, and there's air under, and it will dry out the grass, so that they will have some that it will have hay also. When you give your rabbits the food and you don't know if it's good or if it's not, there is a lot of things in the nature that the rabbits really loves, and then we have to find out what they like and what they don't like, and what is good for them and what is not good for them. And now when I take the rabbits out of the nature and I have them in an area, a cage, then it's my job to take care of them in a very, very, very good way. Oh, no, it's very, very close here. Then it's my job to take care of them, because I take them out, and God have given me so beautiful, beautiful animals, and I have to treat them very well in the months that I have them. So my job is also to find out what is good for them or what is not good for them. The way I do is that I take some of the things, the grass or the weeds, and put it to them, and then I look at them if they start to eat it at this, and just when they see it. And if they eat it in the same time you give it to them, normally it's something that's good for them. But if they do like this one, now I'll just take this one away. You see, they just smell at it and they don't start to eat it just as when you give it to them. I take it away. I will not never give it to them. If you try this a day when they're very, very, very hungry, then it's not good. You have to do it a day where they are, when they have food, and because if they're very, very, very hungry, maybe they will just eat it anyway, even if it's not good for them. My rabbits also get dry food. This is food for hens, and they need also something, because otherwise it would take a lot of months to let them get very, very big. And in a lot of months, maybe some of them will get sick and they will die. But if you also give them some roots from something, if you cannot get the food from hens, then try to find some roots, carrots, or something that is very heavy. Bread, maybe dry or old bread, and give it to your rabbits, because then they will grow faster. And if they grow faster, you can slaughter them earlier and have more meat than if you wait for a long, long, long time. And maybe they will get sick and die during the time. You can train your rabbits to leave all their duns in a special place. Normally a rabbit will never leave their duns in the cage where they are. They will leave it just outside the opening of their own natural cage. And the rabbits are very, very, very curious now what I'm doing. This one is totally full of a very, 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 very good fertilizer to my soil in my garden. This is what I call my gold. And every second day I empty this container to take all the duns away. If I have it more, especially not in winter time here in Denmark, because in winter time it's very, very cold and there will be no flies. But in summer times, when it's a bit hotter, and I know that in your country it's very, very hot, then I will change it every second day, because otherwise all the flies will come and leave their eggs in all this in the container, and you will have a lot of flies, and it will be easier for your rabbits to be sick if there is a lot of duns in the area where they are. The way I train my rabbits to leave the duns the right place is that when I got a new rabbit, a female or a male, when I got the couple that I want to have as mother and father, I always get some of the duns at the same time. And I leave it in a container. And when I put my rabbit in the cage, I make a cage that have two openings. I don't know if you can see it here. That's a bit flat here. And under here they have their cage, and there is an opening here, and there is an opening in the other side. Because naturally the rabbit will leave the duns outside the opening. And then I take my container and put it just outside the opening. And if I'm lucky, it will start to leave it there. And if it don't, and if it starts to leave it in the cage, then I will take it out and put it in the container. And I will do that for some days. And very fast, they will learn to do it in the container. And that is good, because then I can just empty the container and put it in my garden. I have made some big cages here. And what I find out is that if I put net under. Oh, now my dog is looking in. Carla, Carla, no, not Carla. But if I put kind of fence under, then there will be air that's coming up, and that is good in the very, very warm time. When the rabbits have learned to leave the duns in the container, you nearly never need to clean. This is my old male, and I have not cleaned in his area for 4 or 5 months because he never leaves it dirty in there. He does it all in the container. The rabbit, they need some wood inside their cage because their teeth is growing. Just keep growing and growing and growing. And if we just give them green grass and not something that's very hard, the teeth will grow and suddenly they cannot eat and they will die. And that is a very painful way of dying. So remember always to put some kind of wood into your rabbits. Now I have cleaned up with all my rabbits, and there is, like this, concentrated gold for my garden. And this is all just what there was in the container. That is concentrated duns from the rabbits. And the quality of these duns from the rabbits is very, very high. It's very strong, so it's stronger than from the cows or from the goats. It's very, very, very strong. So it's very important that you keep it, because this is very, very good for your garden. And I'll show you here under the cages. I have just take all this. That was one under one of the cages, and you see this is very, very dry. This is extra that's falling down. And a very good idea is, if it's possible for you, let your hens walk under the cages, because then they will eat all these seeds that's coming from the weeds. Because if you just take this out in your garden, there will be a lot of seeds from the weeds in it, and that will grow up next to your vegetables, and that's not very good. So let maybe your hens walk under here, or take it together as I do and give it to your hens. Or you can try to dry it. If there's not very many seeds in it from the weeds, it depends on what you're giving. If there's a time where you're giving your rabbits a lot of grass, then you can just collect it and then let it dry in the sun, and you can keep it for later on, or you can put it somewhere and let it be for compost. Or you can sell it, because when it's dry, you can just put it in a box and you can sell it in town to other people that don't have rabbits, because the quality is very, very, very high of the duns from the rabbits. If you are in a season where it's raining not very much, it's very important that you have a carpet around your vegetables with grass, so that the sun will not dry out the soil. And when it's raining, the rain is not just running away everywhere, or the sun will let it go away again. But if you put a carpet around your vegetables, then it will keep the water, and it will be very, very good, and the soil will be better and better and better. And now, because we have this duns from the rabbits, there is a very good fertilizer in the grass you put on. If you're not sure if your vegetables need all this strong fertilizer, if they can bear to have it, then you just try in a bit area with some of them, and then you can see if it's too strong, because if it's too strong, then it will die. So it would be not very good if you just take it out all over the area and you don't know if it's too strong. So just, if you have it, then keep it in a place and wait for some days and see if it's too strong, because so just try in a few vegetables before you put it all over your garden. But as you can see, my vegetables is growing very, very nice with all this done from the rabbits. Even my onions are very, very big. I make my vegetables in small boxes because then I will never walk in it, and the soil will be very, because I put from the hens and the rabbits, I put it in every year. The soil is getting better and better and better, and it's in a little area, and then I will not walk in it and it will not be hard. So if the soil is very, very soft, you see here,